Hello again. Today I wanted just to talk about some limiting belief factors, really, things that you might be thinking at this point of, am I going to be able to actually do this? Am I going to actually be able to make the changes that I need to? And it's really easy once you get past those first couple of days, when the motivation drops a little bit, to think that I just can't do this. At the point where those cravings will start kicking in, at the point where sort of sugar addictions might start to trick you into thinking that you need the sugar. So it's at that point now really where we need to really focus, and we need to think about some strategies about how we can maintain the progress that you've made so far. And the first one is obvious, really. It's to continue to focus on your loop change. So continue to think about those changes in your in your habit loop of your cues and your responses, and then the rewards to that. So keep going with that, working hard at it. You've done well so far, so there's no reason why you can't continue with that. But I understand now we are going to get to that point where cravings, etc., kick in. So I've got 3 more strategies for you. 3 things that I want you to think about when days do get difficult, and they will, because we are dealing with emotions and we're dealing with addictions effectively. So the first one is something called surfing the urge. And that means really that when you have that urge to fall back into that old habit loop, let's say your habit loop is to sit down in the evening and to watch your favourite TV show and to eat your favourite piece of cake. If that's your craving and that's your urge and that's your habit, then let's think about being a little bit mindful with that. So we've known that the cue's there, so we've sat down. We know now that we really, really want that piece of cake, our favourite piece of cake. But we know also that we don't want to eat it, despite part of our brain telling us that we do. So surfing the urge means really that we're mindful about that, and we go, okay, this potentially is going to be a fail on our habit loop. So I'm going to set 20-minute timer on my phone or watch. And if in 20 minutes I still feel the need to eat that piece of cake, then I'm going to let myself have it, because I've surfed the urge and the urge says, yes, I need it. And we'll take today as just one that didn't quite work and we'll try again tomorrow. So if after 20 minutes you genuinely want it, then have it. You've done okay, you've thought about it, you've been mindful about it, and maybe you just had one of those days where you do need it, and that's fine. As long as that doesn't happen too often, that's okay. So hopefully though, after 20 minutes, because they say really that 20 minutes is when a craving kind of goes. So if you can ride that out or surf the urge to have that piece of cake or whatever your craving is, and whatever your habit loop tells you that you should be having at this point of the day, then if you can ride it out for 20 minutes, there's a very good chance that you just won't want it and you can make a better decision on it. So if after 20 minutes you need to have that piece of cake, fine. If after that 20 minutes you're in a better place where you can go, actually, no, I will replace that with whatever my replacement is, then that's going to happen for you. So first of all, that's a really good technique to try. Set yourself a little timer, 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes, then make a decision on whether you're going to have it or not. The second thing that I think is quite useful is something called 24 before. Now, 24 before basically means that it's 24 hours before the day, you sit down and you plan your day out. So you can look at what you're going to be having for breakfast, you can look at what you're having for lunch, but also, more importantly, you're going to be looking at what you're having for snacks, and also what you are going to be eating or doing to replace the bad habit that we're trying to break. And if you can plan all that out, there's a better chance that these things will happen. And it's been proven there's a better chance that this will all happen if it's all planned out and you just go along and tick it off as you go, rather than just waiting for the moment and then going, oh Christ, what do I do now? And then it might happen, it might not. So plan your day out the day before, plan your meals, work out what works well for you. Plenty of protein often helps if it is a sugar craving. Get those things right now. and then just continue to go through the day. Of course, if you're planning it, you need to make sure you've got the things in, because there's no point planning a really healthy day and if you've got nothing in the cupboards. So maybe you plan it and then you go shopping, and so you know what you're doing. And maybe you plan 48 hours before and then you do a couple of days at a time, but definitely 24 hours ahead, knowing your meals, knowing your breaks of your habit loops, and knowing any snacks that you need is going to help you and give you a better chance of breaking the habit and continuing on the plan that we've set. And then finally, the last one is really just to say that just accept less than perfect. Perfection is great if you can get it, but expecting perfection can often lead to a downfall, because if we constantly are beating ourselves up because we're not perfect, at some point we're probably going to go, oh, I just can't do this, it's too difficult, and I'm going to give up on it. So actually just accepting that perhaps you're going to be good on this plan, and actually continue to do what you're supposed to be doing 80 to 90% of the time with a 10 to 20% failure rate, then that will be fine. You do not need to be perfect. If you can be good most of the time, then this plan will work for you. The problem comes if you're failing day after day after day, and then we need to talk. But if it's just an occasional one for something that's happened, maybe you've been mindful about it, you've surfed the urge, but you still have it, don't beat yourself up about it. Draw a line under it and go again the next day, and plan, and all will be good. So I hope that helps you. This is not easy, otherwise everybody would be breaking bad habits. So just use some of those techniques, and we'll be back with some more techniques and things to help you out as we go through this plan. Speak soon.